Hey, welcome back to the Badass Podcast. I've been like doing a few more of these by myself, and I know it's difficult. Well, at least it's difficult for me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I talk to myself all the time. Like this is like a normal thing for me. And if you're listening to this and you're laughing, like, don't lie. You know, you talk to yourself too. You have to. Like, how do you stay sane if you don't? Maybe that's why I have so many crazy people. They don't talk to themselves. Never thought about that before. I want to talk today about chivalry. And it's funny because I was telling Billy, like, I really want to do a post about this. And I was like, but I think it needs to be a whole podcast because a full 20 minutes of me talking about chivalry, that sounds awful, but hear me out. Okay. So, if you follow me on social media, you know that my son just asked his girlfriend to go to homecoming with him. Now, did I say that right? To go to homecoming with him. Yes, there we go. Now, that's his girlfriend. Like, she's not going to go with anybody else, right? Like, of course, they're going to go together. They've been dating for 5 months. They're so cute. They're sophomores. They are just adorable. They've been dating since the end of their freshman year, and they're just the cutest little things. And we love their family, and they're just like seriously some of my favorite people. In fact, we were friends before they actually like officially started dating. So I told Carson, I was like, you better not screw this up, because if you do, like, you and Madison are going to have to get over the fact that like us parents are hanging out, because I like love this family so much. Anyways, of course she was going to say yes, right? But there's this stigma, I think, that you have to come up with this crazy way to ask the girl that you want to take to the dance. Like, you have to come up with this crazy way, okay? And it's so fun to me. Like, as a boy mom, I absolutely love it. So I also have to say, and I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it, I actually think it was my generation that started it. Did you guys do that when you were in high school? You're a little bit younger than me. You did, right? So it was totally my generation that started it. When I was in high school, my high school boyfriend, y'all, thoroughly impressed still to this day. Massive, like 3 high. Okay, if you don't know what 3 high is, it's like butcher paper. So it's like, and 3 of them like stacked on top of one another, like vertically, horizontally, stacked horizontally. So it was like super tall. And it was like, oh shit, was it homecoming? Was it prom? Was it winter formal? It was one of the dances. Will you go to prom with me? And this fool hung it. I say fool in like a loving way, right? This guy hung it from the freaking gym. Like, so somehow, some way, he or somebody he knows got up on the roof of the gym and like flopped it down like the whole side of the gym. So you quite literally, and I went to school, my graduating class, I had like 1,200 people, which was really big, especially I graduated in 2001. So like the whole school could see it. You could seriously see it from like one end of campus to the other. It was so rad. So I like to think that we started it because I don't know anybody else that did it before then. I will also say my high school boyfriend, different high school boyfriend. I had 2 serious boyfriends in high school. So my first one, he actually showed up at my house and was singing the song in Top Gun, You Never Close Your... I'm not a singer, people. Okay, so that song... Do you know what song that is? Do you know who it's by? I don't either. Do you know what song I was singing? I'll sing it to you later so that I don't sing it on air. It's a super popular song and I can't think of it. Loving Feeling. You've lost that loving feeling. Billy, come on, where are you? So that's the song. And him and his buddies went out there and sang that, like serenaded me in front of my window. Like the coolest thing ever. Bless his heart. He was awesome. And those boys could sing. I'm actually still friends with them to this day. So it's actually quite sweet. But I never like really heard about it or knew about it growing up. So I really feel like my generation started it. If we didn't, don't tell me any differently because I'm not going to believe you. Anyways, so now Carson decided. So Madison loves our dog. Madison is Carson's girlfriend. She loves our puppy, Penny. I almost brought her here today, actually, but I figured she would be too much of a distraction, so I didn't. And I didn't want her to get all excited and pee on the carpet or anything. So I didn't bring her, but she's such a doll. And she loves Penny. So he made this really cute sign, and it was like, I am positive, and we did like PAW for positive. I am... positive or I couldn't possibly imagine you not going to Hoka with my human. And it was so cute. And Penny sat there like a good little girl and everything. And we brought her flowers. And of course, she was all excited. So I love this excitement around it. I love the chivalryness of it, if that's a word. But I have to tell you, there are some downers, and they are, of course, on social media. Like, it's not anybody that you really truly know. There might be a few, but like nobody that has the cojones to say like, this is ridiculous, right? Because is it totally? Like, is it really necessary? Absolutely not. But is it so fun? Yes. So I was reading somewhere where this mom put, this is too much pressure on these kids, and you're putting so much pressure on these parents, and you're doing this and you're doing that. My thought to you is, sit down, please. Because if you feel that way, then don't do it. Like, I don't understand how somebody else outside of you is affecting the way you feel so much by not even ever doing anything to you. Like, they are literally taking the time, the money, the energy, the effort, the everything to make posters and do all these things to quite literally make somebody else's day. And you really want to focus on how they're like bringing you down because you don't feel the need to do it. Okay, then don't do it. Like, it's okay. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you have a daughter and she's younger, right? If she's older, obviously it doesn't apply to you anyways, and whatever, you can think whatever you want to think anyways. But if you have a little girl and some boy brought her flowers and all these things, are you going to love that? Absolutely. Because deep down, we really want all of our kids to be happy, right? And I feel that like chivalry is not dead, okay? But it certainly does die down. Like, it really does. I've been married to Sweetie Pie for 21 years this year. He doesn't open my door every time. I shouldn't say that. He doesn't open my car door every time. Like, sometimes we're in a hurry and I got to run and get in, and he doesn't open my door. Like, it's not something that I necessarily think about. But in the beginning of our relationship, you bet your ass he did. Like, constantly opening my doors. Now, here's the thing, because I don't want any feminists coming out from nowhere and being like, I can open my own door. And Miley Cyrus singers singing how they can buy their own flowers. Yeah, you can. And you know what? I can wash my own clothes and I can do my own dishes. And I was going to be really inappropriate. I can do a lot of things on my own, okay? But when somebody else does it for you, doesn't it make you feel good? When somebody does the dishes that only you ate out of, doesn't it feel great? Like, when you come home and your husband was in bed when you left this morning, but you come home and your bed's made, like, aren't you happy that your bed's made? When you get to work and you had a stack of papers piled high, but your team ops manager takes that off your desks and does it for you? Like, you guys, this is why acts of service is quite literally a love language, because chivalry does matter. Doing things for people does matter. And if you don't have a significant other in your life, that's fine. Find a friend, find somebody who you love and you can dote on, and dote on them, because it just feels good to be doted on. Flipping the script a little bit, it also feels good to be the giver. If you are, I would say, 25 and older, and it's probably even a little bit younger than that, you know that giving gifts is far better than receiving, like far better than receiving. Christmas as a kid, I remember it being the best thing ever. And I know Christmas and chivalry doesn't go together. I get it, but hold on, I'm getting there. So I vividly remember like waking up with my sister, and we would like go down, and at the end of our stairs, we lived on Oakland Way, best street ever. Shout out to my Oakland Way people. I freaking love you. All of us kids that live on Oakland Way are like still friends to this day. And in fact, one of my friends on Oakland Way actually married Janelle, who's on my team. So like, us Oakland Wayers, we run deep. Anyways, we're all still friends. Like, we all have babies and are having babies still and stuff like that. So it's really neat. And we all cheer each other on. Like, the kids you grew up with are just a special kind of love. You know what I mean? Anyways, so we lived on Oakland Way, and the stairs like went straight down, and our Christmas tree was like standing right there one year. I remember one year, because then my mom moved it to the family room. Anyways, so standing right there in our formal front room, and like you could see all the presents and everything. And I remember just feeling Santa came, and this is the best feeling ever. And I love it. And I can't wait to see all the fun, crazy craft stuff he bought me, because that was my jam, and all the stuff. And we'd go wake up my brother, and then we tried to wake up my parents and all the things, right? And then I became a parent to kids who love Christmas even more than I do. Yes, it is September 11th right now, and my Christmas tree is set up at the lake house. And can I tell you, my 15-year-old walked out of his room at the lake walked out and he was all smiles. And I was like, did you see him putting the Christmas tree up? He's like, well, I saw it on your Instagram stories. And I'm like, him seeing the Christmas tree up on my Instagram stories literally brought him out of his room. It was awesome. But anyways, like that feeling of giving multiplied by like 1,000,000. I still now, even just this last Christmas, my kids were, how old were my kids? Well, a year younger than they are now. So they were like 18, 16, and 14. And I could still hear the pitter patter of them walking around. I could hear them walk down the stairs thinking that they were all quiet and being like, should we get up, Mom, now? Hold on, Mom's going to want her tea. Let's start the water. So they started the water for me and they had my tea brewing by the time I got down. And, and David and I take our time getting down there and stuff like my freaking parents did to me that I hated so much. And they sat around and looked like, it was like little kids waiting to open up their Christmas presents. I'm just like, this is the best. And when my kids have kids, they're going to know that feeling. Right now to them, Christmas Day is the best day ever. And because they get all these gifts, and it will continue to be the best day ever when they're giving those gifts to their kids. So I'm reverting this back to giving is the best part of everything. So when chivalry is a form of giving. So yes, I understand you can do all these things by yourself and I get that. But homie, listen, we need other people in our lives to do things for us. Not physically need them, but we emotionally need them to do these things for us. My sons open my door for me all the time. I have a few that are better at it than others, but all the time my door gets open for me. And they were little doing this, and now I see them doing it for other people, not just me and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, good. That's where we need to go back to. We need to go back to reminding our kids that giving and doing these things, even though there are going to be, I don't even want to use the word Karen because that's not nice, but there are other people out there who are going to be the freaking downers. Like, really? If you don't want to do something for somebody, then don't. Like, don't do it. It's okay. I give you permission to not ask a girl to homecoming in the most fun way possible. Your kid might feel left out because everybody else is doing it, and that girl might wish somebody nice would have done something for her. But think of how a quick poster board and $10 flowers at the grocery store, think of how much that's going to make somebody's day. And girls, you want some guy to go with you to the dance? You ask him. You do all the things too. It doesn't have to be a gender role thing, even though it usually is. It's usually gentlemen opening the doors and stuff. But I'll tell you right now, that's how it should be. When I go to Wood Ranch, if a guy walks out and doesn't even hold the door for me and blatantly knows I'm there, it's rude to not hold the door. Even if it's not me, even if it's another woman or whoever, like, we should always be kind and always be giving to people. And if you can't, then stay the frick home. Like, don't go out to dinner or just don't be around me, please, because I know I can be a ball of sunshine when sometimes people just want to be in a mood. And so it's a lot. Like, I get that. But when I look at how happy I am 95% of the time, like, to me, I'm going to do this all the time. Like, doing things for other people genuinely makes me feel good. And when I feel good, I'm a better mom. I'm a better wife. I'm a better real estate agent. Like, I'm a better everything. So if doing things for people makes me feel good, I'm going to keep doing it so that I can continue to be a better real estate agent, a better mom, and a better wife to my husband. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So I also think that there's another side to chivalry as well. Like, setting the expectation. Okay, so men, I don't know if you know this or not, and I'm talking to everybody. I don't know if you know this or not, but men are not mind readers. Women are not mind readers. Like, I will try. I will really, really try. Like, if I know, it's funny because obviously I know when David's in a bad mood, right? Like, he's short, he gets snippy, he's just whatever. And I'm like, ew. And so, ew, David, literally. So when he's in a bad mood, like, I know. And so the kids will come to me and they'll be like, why is Dad in a bad mood? Okay, well, I'm not a mind reader, so I have no idea. And I literally just got home. So, like, what the heck did you guys do? No, I'm kidding. I mean, I have been known to say that for sure. Because 9 times out of 10, like, if he's in a bad mood and they're the only ones that have been home with them, they know what's up. So, but there are times when I'm like, maybe he had a bad day at work. Maybe he did this. Maybe, I have no idea. I haven't even talked to him yet. Let me figure this out. And so there are times when he's snippy and I'm like, what is your deal, bro? Like, frig, why are you yelling? Or why are you getting snippy with me? And, his his response to me the other night, he was cooking dinner and he was getting snippy. Can you wash these dishes for me? Yeah, totally. Wash the dishes for him. And I'm like, and then he asked me, can you, with the fucking garlic. I hate garlic. I hate peeling garlic. It's not my thing. Okay. And he always wants me to peel the garlic. And I'm like, yes, I will peel the garlic for you. And so like I'm sitting there peeling the garlic and stuff. He's literally making his dinner. The least I could do are the dishes and peel the freaking garlic, right? So I look at him and I'm like, why are you in a bad mood? And he's like, I'm not in a bad mood. Just if I need help, like I feel like I should get it. And I looked around and I was like, I think you are getting it. And he goes, yeah, I am, but I had to ask you. And I said, perfect. Do you want to have this conversation right now or do you want to wait? And he was like, do we need to have a conversation? And I was like, yeah, bro, we do. So I kindly reminded him, hey, do you remember when the babies were little and I was a stay-at-home mom and you went to work all day and you came home and the house was clean and the kids were clean and alive and dinner was ready and then we would eat dinner as a family and then I would clean up and I would, 9 times out of 10, he would go upstairs and he would bathe the boys. 9 times out of 10. No doubt in my mind. Or he'd at least send Jacob up for a shower. And then while Jacob was showering, like I would do dishes and stuff like that. Now, when I clean my kitchen, if you've been over to my house, I apologize. When I clean my kitchen, like we do the dishes, we wipe off the counters, we clean off the stove, we vacuum the floors, and then I usually mop. Little lunatic. Yes, I know, I understand, but I love a clean kitchen. Like it's just, I love a clean house in general and I don't like clutter. So it's something that I like to do. I will actually keep a mop bucket full of cleaning solution and water so that I can literally spin it at any time and go out. This is me spinning it. If you're watching on YouTube, I spin my mop and then I like mop. Okay. I don't want dirt, food, nastiness tracked all through my house. 9 times out of 10, we're eating outside, coming in, going in the spa, coming in. Like it's just a disaster. So when I put, as my girlfriend Stacy once said, put my kitchen to bed, it makes me feel so much better. So when my kids were younger, Jacob would go up, take his shower. David was exhausted. He literally worked all day, but so did I. And I remember I would do all the dishes. I would dry them, put them all away, wipe off the counters, wipe off the stove, vacuum and mop, clean up the kids' toys. And then I would go and give the baby a bath or whatever, change diapers, get in jammies or whatever. If he didn't do it, like I said, 9 times out of 10, he did. And then I would come down and I would tell him, how nice would it be if you helped me with the dishes so that we could sit down and watch TV together? And you guys, I only had to tell him about 5 or 6 times, like truly 5 or 6 times, before he got it, before he was like, oh, you want help. Now, it's not even that I want help either. I've changed my thought on this. So I used to say, hey, can you help me by taking the kids and giving them a bath? No. You're not helping me. You're just doing what needs to be done. So now it's like, hey, can you come here and peel the garlic? I'm not helping him peel the garlic. I mean, in essence, I'm helping him make dinner, right? But I'm helping our family eat. So it's us. Like when you do something for your spouse, you're doing it for the greater good. The same can be said for chivalry. If you're opening the door like you used to when you dated all those years ago, what's that person going to reflect on? The best times in your relationship, because the best times are when you were first dating, when you were figuring each other out, when you guys were learning new things, and you had the butterflies when you kissed, and he opened the door for you and did all these things for you and stuff. Or when you did shut up and just do the dishes, and you didn't say, hey, wouldn't it be nice if you did this and that? Like, really, that was the best way to go about it? Absolutely not. But the same can be said, hey, just tell me, I need help peeling the garlic, or I'm trying to get dinner on the table. Can you set the table for me? Yep, no problem. Jump up and do it. I don't understand why anybody who needs help, one, why you don't ask for it. Like to me, I need help. I'm asking every day of every week. And this is different than asking your spouse. But like, I need help in my business. Hey, can you help me with this? Or I need to take something off my plate. I'm really good at delegating and do things. I know there are people who are not. I encourage you to work on that, be better on that. But again, going back to the whole chivalry thing, like we do these things to help each other out, right? When you are chivalrous to your spouse, you're doing it because you want to help your relationship. You don't necessarily want it to go stagnant. You don't want it to go by the wayside. You don't want to look at your spouse after years and years of raising babies and kids and be like, who the hell are you? Remember when you used to do this? How come you don't do that for me anymore? No. Hey, I expect you to open the door every time we go places, please. I really like it when you do that. I think setting the expectation with your spouse is something that not only needs to be done, but you need to continuously do it. And not even just with your spouse, but your significant other, your parents. Set the expectation. So I'm out with my daughter-in-law last night, and I literally tell her, hey, if you guys never have kids, I don't care. Like, as long as you guys don't care, I don't care. I had my babies, and my grandma Sally used to tell me all the time. I used to say, who's your favorite grandkid? Who's your favorite grandkid? And she would tell me, none of you. My favorite kids are my boys. My grandma had 5 boys. My dad was the youngest of 5. And I thought, how great is that? Like, I'm totally going to take that approach too, because the reality of it is, it's not my job to love my grandkids as much as I love my kids. That's their parents' job. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure I will. And I'm sure I'm going to be a crazy lunatic grandma, and I'm sure I'm going to be all the things. Do not get me wrong. But deep down, it's always going to be my babies. It's my kids' job to love their kids the way that I loved them. So to me, I'm like, I don't care if you never have kids. If you don't, it's all good. But one day, assuming all my kids have kids, there are things that, they're going to expect of us. They're going to want us to go to games. They're going to want us to babysit once a week. They're going to need us to come into town if we don't live near them and do things with their kids. They're going to expect those things. So I was telling my daughter-in-law, I'm like, listen, I just want you to be upfront, honest. When the time comes, tell us these things. And she's like, you're so good about that. You're always so open. I always feel like I could tell you anything. And I'm like, okay, good. That's how I always want it to be. So if we have to be like that in every aspect of every relationship that we have, wouldn't you think that being chivalrous in our sexual partnerships, whatever you want to put it, relationships, don't you think that that's the most important? Because I certainly do. Going back and just relating all this back to the promposals and the homecoming proposals and stuff like that. Guys, that's where it begins. That's where the teaching begins, right? And if we don't show these boys and girls how to be chivalrous and how to take care of one another, then really we're just telling them that they need to do it on their own. Don't you think that adds so much more pressure? No, you don't need to do it on your own. You don't have to open the door. And I'm talking to things like opening the door to doing life on your own. Yeah, you can, but you're not supposed to. And we weren't meant to. So again, if you are not here for the proposals, it's okay. Not everything is going to be your thing. It's all right. You don't have to do it. You don't have to have your kids do it. Nobody needs to do it for your kid. I understand that. But if we expect our society to want to help others and want to do for others and want to put women on, I think, the pedestal we deserve, quite frankly, and we are special and we are unique. And yes, we can do these things, but the fact that men want to do them for us, the fact that other people want to do them for other people, I think is the bigger picture. And if you are constantly taking it away by criticizing some poor kid asking another kid to a dance, really? That's the hill you want to die on? It's just not up my alley. So at the end of the day, I think we need to do what's best for us. I think teaching children to be chivalrous, opening the door for their teachers, all those things. If we started at a young age, I really think that the next generation can benefit from it in all aspects, in all relationships that they have, not only with other people, but with themselves. I just got done talking for 20 minutes about how giving to others feels good. When we hold the door open for people, okay, my son, when he holds the door open for people, and they don't say anything, I literally look at him and I'm like, that was so nice of you to hold that door open for them. Thank you for doing that. And when they do say something, hey, thanks so much. That was so nice of you. Great. Then I still say the same thing, but it makes them feel good. Yay, I did something nice for somebody today. Some small act of kindness, freaking small. Holding the door open for somebody is not that big of a deal. I know I keep reverting back to that, but that's just the best example that I've got, people. Pumping gas is another one. Can I tell you? I went to pump my gas. I was trying to think when. Oh, we were going out to Havasu, but Sweetie Pie was already in Havasu. And I told the boys, I was like, does anybody know what side of the gas tank is on? And then I know, there's a little arrow. So I was like, oh, there's a little arrow up here. I remember. So You guys, I am 41 years old. I can count on one hand, maybe two, how many times I've filled up my gas tank since I've been married. Like, that is, I can pump my own gas. It's not that big of a deal. Like, if I get the wrong side of the gas tank, like, I can always drive my car around. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. But the fact that my husband takes my car to go put gas in it and bring it back, these are things that we need to be teaching our children to do for others, because again, this really works on their self-reflection, and it also helps other people. So why we would sit here and take chivalry and want to throw it in the ground because people can do things for themselves is mind-blowing to me. And if you feel differently, let me know. Like, I'm totally open to listening. We're not going to agree. Nothing you say is going to make me change my mind, but I would love to see a different and fresh perspective, if there is one. I don't know that there is, though. So thanks for taking the time to listen to me today about chivalry. I really think that it was just more, we say chivalry, but I really think it's about giving. And I think it's about the giving of yourself in ways that, yes, other people can totally take care of. But it's just the thought and the act, the quick thought and the quick act of going out there and doing something for somebody else. So I say chivalry's not dead. I say if it is dead in your family, you teach them kids and you bring it back so that the next generation can flourish.